June is also Silence the Violence Month of Action, which is aimed at ending gun violence. The annual Silence Violence March and Rally began 17 years ago at Church of the Messiah in Detroit. This year, more than 20 similar events took place across the state. American Black Journal contributor Daijah Moss was at the Detroit March, where the innocent victims of gun violence were honored.
Silence the violence! Silence the violence!
I've had so many relatives, it would be unfair to speak on one or two, because we've had several relatives that have died to gun violence. So that's why it's important to me.
On October 16, 2016, my daughter Jada Rankin was murdered by senseless gun violence. She was 15 years old. It took me 2 years to even come out the house. It took me 2 years to go back to work. It took me 2 years to comb my hair. But I had learned that my daughter was not, she was a butterfly, right? At every room she walked in, it lit up. So it is my duty, not only as her mother, to birth her, nourish her. It's actually my duty to keep her legacy alive.
This is Shantez Cameron Moore, my 8-year-old grandson, who was shot last year, August 19th, with an unsecured gun on the west side of Detroit at his mom's house. And parents was careless at my daughter's house. And unfortunately, the kids got a hold to it. I never know the whole story, I wasn't there, but his life was taken with an unsecured gun. So the message today is lock it up.
I lost a childhood friend by the name of Gerald Gunter. He was the first one of us to be murdered. I've seen individuals rally and look at our friend as a martyr to the lifestyle. And I've seen us go on like a 2-year campaign of retaliation. Trauma can be your superpower, because when you had enough, you had enough. We've seen community members get involved. Like most of the people who is addressing gun violence are people who have been caught up in the cycles of gun violence, of having enough, and bearing the responsibility with holding themselves accountable and holding community accountable. And holding community accountable is not just punitive measures or punishment. Holding community accountable is figuring out how do we show up as responsible elders, peers, in addressing it.
It takes a village to work together, to be able to collaborate and to have it where our children are safe, our women are safe, our brothers, our sisters are safe, and we just trying to make a safe zone for victims being victimized by gun violence.
We started this 17 years ago because in this neighborhood, we had an unfortunate incident of a few young people being murdered. And I literally talked to their parents and I said, I don't know what we're going to do, but we're going to do something. They would not be a statistic. We would stand up and we would do something. But it was 58 of us. Within a few years, it became a citywide event. And as of 2022, it became a statewide event. So it turned into Silence the Violence, Michigan.
We've taken bold steps to now fund community violence intervention programs, which again is looking at it not from the lens of policing and enforcement, but from the lens of human perspective.
It is our community who is fed up with this senseless violence. We're not going to lose our balance patting ourselves on the back because we've had some degree of success. It is still way too violent. We need community, we need ceasefire, we need our CVI, we need all of the folks in this room to continue to help us drive down violence.
I thank you for turning your tears into triumph as we've cried over people who we have lost or lives that have been cut short. But know that tomorrow will come when we all hold hands and lock arms and walk into it together, because when we decide that type of unity is what we will not only accept but demand from our sisters and brothers, that is how we will move forward safely and we will end gun violence in Michigan and across our communities.
I hope that eventually this event becomes obsolete. That's what I hope, that it becomes something that we remember, that it becomes a victory, and we say we don't have to march for gun violence because we've conquered it.
Silence the violence.
Silence the violence.
This our city.
This our city.
Keep it safe.
Keep it safe.
This our city.
This our city.
Keep it safe.
Keep it safe.